There is a lot of confusion which has been created by the latest IRCC policy update with regards to the maintained status. So let me clarify that for you. Now, under normal circumstances, if you are on a current valid status in Canada, you can apply for an extension depending on your circumstances. And if you make that application for extension before the expiry of your current status, then you go on what is referred to as a maintained status. So that everybody knows about, that everybody understands. Now, earlier, if you would then make another application, a subsequent application during your maintained status period, after your original permit had expired, after your original status had expired, then that subsequent application allowed you to continue residing in Canada even after your first extension application was refused. You just could not work or study if that was the application you were making. That was earlier. Now, what IRCC is saying is that if you have applied for an extension of status, you of course get a maintained status. But during this period of maintained status, if you now apply for a subsequent application, that will be refused and you would then also be given a warning. And from there on, if you are eligible, you can apply for restoration of status. This is the big change from previous to now. Previously, the second application would still give you the authorization to continue living in Canada, but no authorization to work or study. The new one does not allow you to work or study, of course, but it does also not allow you to continue residing in Canada, that bridge that was maintained. Now, where does it actually impact? Let me give you some examples. For example, you make an application, dummy extension application, right? So you have a valid work permit, you apply for a dummy extension before its expiry, you are now on a maintained status. And then you realize, oh my God, this dummy extension is going to get refused. Let me quickly also apply for a visitor record because that way I will not lose status. Wrong. Now you can't do that because on your maintained status, while you still can work because you have maintained status on your dummy extension, if you're applying for a visitor record, this visitor record application eventually will be refused and you will not have any bridge to continue staying in Canada. Means when your dummy extension is refused, you will then have to apply for restoration if you are eligible. Another example, let's say you are in Canada on a work permit. You applied for dummy extension, which a lot of people are doing right now. Towards the period of your maintained status, you realize, oh my God, I still have maintained status. Can I apply for study permit? Why don't I apply for study permit? Because I'm going to get refused anyway. So you go ahead and make an application for study permit while being on maintained status. Wrong again, because now IRCC is saying while they will definitely refuse your dummy extension application anyways, they will also refuse your study permit application because you're not authorized to apply for one. And this maintained period status, if you are applying for any other subsequent application, it will be refused and you will be told you have lost status, you cannot live in Canada unless you are eligible for restoration. So always good to be aware of these changes, always good to be aware of what you can and cannot do. That way always you can stay on a valid status and not get into any immigration trouble.